can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Leslie Barajas, and I am originally from Mexico, born and raised, and I moved to the United States when I was 12 years old.
Okay, so what is your native language?
My native language is Spanish.
Spanish? Okay. And when did you start school in the United States?
Okay, so we moved when I just finished elementary, and elementary in Mexico is up to sixth grade.
Mhm.
So I started when I became a seventh grader.
Okay. And so when were you first introduced to the English language? Was it when you entered into the US?
No, actually, when I was first introduced to English language, it was back in Mexico. My dad decided to send us to private classes
Mhm.
to learn some, but it was just like the basic English,
Okay.
colors, not we didn't went that far.
Okay. And so once you came to the US, what language program were you in during those years?
Right when I came, they placed me in ESL.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that your background in English helped you, like taking those private classes?
It did help me
Mhm.
at the beginning, but it didn't help me when we started like having conversations. Like for a fluent to have a fluent conversation,
Mhm.
it was difficult to
Yeah.
form one. But it did help me, like to get the basics
Mhm.
of it. Yes.
Yeah, so you weren't starting just from
Yes.
blank. Okay. And so what obstacles did you face in developing your English skills? And was there something that you struggled with in particular?
I'll say communication. Communicating even with my teachers was the biggest struggle,
Mhm.
in to do my assignments. Like for example, when doing homework, my mom doesn't know English. My dad
Mhm.
does, but he used to be in Mexico back then at that time. So even like to do those kind of things, I had a lot of struggle,
Okay.
communication. Communication pretty much.
Mhm. Okay. Do you feel like you were ever discriminated against at school because English wasn't your native language?
I'll say at the beginning, maybe.
Mhm.
Like I remember one time in middle school, um, we supposed to get in groups
Mhm.
to work on something, and so that day the teacher didn't put us on groups. It was the students. So it was some of my friends, my classmates, and I that
Mhm.
were like left at the at the last.
Oh, because all of you were.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's hard. So what lessons, activities, strategies, techniques, anything do you feel that your teacher used to help you learn English?
Mostly visuals.
Mhm.
Visuals. It was like the main thing because since ESL at seventh grade, we don't use any Spanish, so they do a lot of visuals. Like even for the door, they have door in like the drawing of the door. Those basic
Oh,
things.
like labeling
Yes,
stuff? Okay.
labeling and visuals.
Mhm. And so going back to your classmates, how did socializing with them affect your English development?
A lot. Um, at that time, when I was placed on ESL, I was with other my classmates were ESL as well,
Mhm.
English as and just to be on my comfort zone, I started socializing only with them, with people that
Mhm.
speak Spanish.
Mhm.
So at that time, I finished that continued all the way to high school. At that time, I finished high school and moved to college. I had no choice.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me to try to socialize with someone as I didn't speak Spanish. So my
Mhm.
first question when I met someone was like, "Do you speak Spanish?" Just
Oh.
for me to be on my comfort zone.
Mhm. Yeah, because you were so used
Yes.
to. Okay. Do you feel like you had a good support system in K through 12 or 7 through 12?
I'll say sadly no, unfortunately, because even for tests we were tested in English,
Mhm.
and by that time my English was not that perfect or good enough, like to to do the assessment, to do a
Mhm.
test. So at one moment I was just like guessing on the multiple choice or filling out the answer just to finish or get over,
Mhm.
and that affect my learning a lot.
And do you think that the teachers paid attention to that or tried to help you?
I believe they did, but
Mhm.
since the school system was like, okay, so ESL they have to be tested, like, for example, tax,
Mhm.
they had to give it to us on English,
Mhm.
and even like class work, everything had to be in English. I had a few teachers they did speak Spanish, So if I had like any questions or anything, they'll be able to help me. But other than that, everything had to be in English.
Right. So, along with that, do you think that the state language and education policies helped you or hurt you growing up?
I'll say it hurt me.
Yeah.
Since I didn't, maybe if I had started bilingual education at the beginning, will make a difference. But since I came like with only basic English, colors, numbers, to jump to another level of understanding, it did hurt.
Yeah, definitely. And so, based on your experiences as an ELL student, how do you think it affected your belief system as a future educator?
I feel it affect me or it impact me because the school system is like so focused on teaching children how to take a test or what's going to come on the test without knowing if they are actually learning. And especially that's one struggle with monolinguals. So when it comes to bilingual kids, it's that the struggle doubles
Yes, definitely.
in that case.
All right, thank you so much, Leslie.
You're welcome, Cecilia.